Chosen one, you got jaws dropping lately with how good you are looking and doing, and that glow you're carrying has got people talking in ways that are shaking the very foundations of their reality. This isn't some coincidence or lucky streak you're riding. This is creator energy manifesting through your being like lightning through a rod. And every single soul who crosses your path is feeling the electromagnetic shift of your elevation, hitting them like a spiritual freight train they never saw coming but can't stop staring at. The whispers started weeks ago, maybe months, but now they've become a roar of recognition that follows you everywhere you go. People are studying your every move, dissecting your social media posts frame by frame, trying to decode the secret formula behind your radical evolution. What they don't understand is that what they're witnessing cannot be bought, taught, or replicated through any course, routine, or investment. The Creator has been working overtime on your metamorphosis, and the results are shaking people to their core, forcing them to question everything they thought they knew about transformation, beauty, and divine favor. This transformation you're experiencing right now is just the opening act of something far more significant that's about to unfold. The universe has been preparing you for a level of magnetism and influence that will completely reshape not just your life, but the lives of everyone who enters your orbit. The signs have been building like storm clouds gathering on the horizon. The energy has been accumulating like electricity before lightning strikes, and now the full force of your awakening is about to reach an intensity that will leave no doubt about your chosen status. That ex-lover who's been haunting your periphery like a ghost seeking redemption. They've been having sleepless nights ever since they caught a glimpse of your transformation, and what started as casual social media surveillance has evolved into an obsession that's consuming their every waking moment. They're scrolling through your photos with the dedication of a detective working a cold case, showing your pictures to friends with barely concealed desperation, asking mutual connections about your relationship status with a hunger that reeks of regret and growing recognition of what they've lost. This person thought they could trade you in for a cheaper model, someone easier to control, someone who wouldn't challenge them to grow beyond their comfort zone or demand excellence from their character. But every new connection they've attempted since you have felt like settling for fast food after years of fine dining, like trying to find satisfaction in knockoff designer goods after experiencing authentic luxury. They're discovering that your beauty wasn't just skin deep, it was soul deep, radiating from a place of such genuine authenticity that no amount of surface level attraction can replicate the depth of connection they experienced in your presence. The beautiful irony unfolding here is that while they're drowning in regret and scrambling to understand what they've lost, you're ascending to heights they never imagined possible during your time together. Their loss is becoming your liberation in the most poetic way possible, and every day they spend missing what they had with you is another day you spend becoming someone even more magnificent than the person they foolishly let slip through their fingers. The universe has a sense of humor, and right now it's laughing at their expense while blessing you with abundance. But the plot thickens, because this person isn't just missing you, they're about to make a move that will reveal the true extent of their desperation. They've been crafting messages they never send, driving past places they know you frequent, and working up the courage for a grand gesture that they believe will win you back. What they don't realize is that you've evolved so far beyond their orbit that their attempts to reclaim you will only serve to highlight the vast distance you've traveled. Your professional life is experiencing a revolution that's making your colleagues question everything they thought they knew about success, influence, and the unwritten rules of workplace dynamics. That promotion you've been quietly positioning yourself for isn't just coming, it's being fast-tracked by executives who can't fully explain why they feel compelled to elevate you, but know instinctively that having you in higher positions benefits everyone involved and somehow improves the entire organization's energy and productivity. The older executives, the ones with decades of experience reading people and predicting potential, are having conversations about you in mahogany-paneled boardrooms where your name carries weight that surprises even you. They're recognizing something in your energy that transcends your resume, something that suggests you're destined for leadership roles that will reshape entire industries and redefine what effective management looks like in evolving business landscapes. Your younger colleagues are watching your ascent with a mixture of admiration and bewilderment, trying to reverse engineer your approach like scientists studying a breakthrough formula. They're analyzing your communication style, mimicking your strategies, copying your presentation techniques, but missing the fundamental truth that your success stems from operating at a frequency most people can't access without doing the deep spiritual work you've been doing behind the scenes. The department meetings have taken on a different energy since your transformation became apparent. People defer to your opinions more readily, seek your input on decisions that extend beyond your official responsibilities, and include you in conversations that were previously reserved for senior leadership. Your presence alone is shifting the power dynamics in ways that feel natural and inevitable rather than forced or political. But there's something bigger brewing in the corporate sphere that you haven't seen yet. Industry leaders from outside your company have been taking notice of your work, your approach, and the results you're generating. Headhunters are starting to circle, not because they're fishing for generic talent, but because your reputation is beginning to precede you in professional circles, where your name is becoming synonymous with innovation and results. The conference invitations are about to start flooding in, speaking opportunities will present themselves with increasing frequency, and consulting offers will begin arriving from organizations that want to bottle whatever energy you're bringing to your current role. Your professional trajectory is about to shift into a gear you didn't even know existed. The family dynamics you've been navigating are about to reach a crescendo that will permanently alter how your relatives perceive and interact with you for the rest of your life. That family gathering that's been circled on calendars for months, every conversation will center around your transformation, with older family members attributing your glow to divine favor and younger ones desperately seeking your guidance on their own life challenges and personal struggles. Your parents are having private conversations about how proud they are of your evolution, how they're witnessing the fulfillment of prayers they've been sending up for years without always being sure those prayers were being heard. They're seeing you step into the potential they always knew existed but weren't entirely certain you'd ever fully claim. The child they raised with such hope and intention is finally becoming the adult they dreamed you could be, and their pride is radiating through every interaction they have with friends and extended family. The relatives who used to treat you as the still figuring it out family member are now approaching you with a respect that borders on reverence. They're seeking your advice on everything from career decisions to relationship challenges, asking for your perspectives on major life choices, and including you in conversations that were previously reserved for the successful relatives who had already made it by conventional standards. But the most significant shift is happening with the family patriarch or matriarch, that elder whose approval has always carried the most weight in family dynamics. They're looking at you with new eyes, recognizing something in your evolution that reminds them of their own journey to success, and they're beginning to position you as someone who will carry forward the family's legacy of achievement and influence. Your social circle is undergoing a complete overhaul that's happening so naturally and organically, you might not even notice the magnitude of the shift until you look back months from now and realize you're surrounded by entirely different people than those who filled your life just a short time ago. The people who used to drain your energy are finding it increasingly difficult to maintain access to you, not because you're actively pushing them away, but because your elevated frequency is naturally repelling energies that don't match your new vibration. Meanwhile, high-caliber individuals are being drawn into your orbit like iron filings to a powerful magnet, and these aren't casual acquaintances or superficial connections looking for something to gain from associating with you. These are people who recognize your frequency on a soul level, who can match your energy and elevation, who see you as the rare find you truly are, and approach you with intentions that go far beyond surface-level attraction or networking opportunities. The network you're building through these organic connections is going to open doors you haven't even imagined yet, creating pathways to opportunities that don't exist for people operating at lower frequencies. These people aren't just admirers collecting trophies, they're future collaborators, business partners, creative allies, and lifelong friends who will help amplify your influence in ways that will surprise even your most optimistic projections. The invitations you're receiving have shifted in caliber as well. Instead of casual hangouts and basic social gatherings, you're being invited to exclusive events, intimate dinner parties with influential people, weekend retreats with thought leaders, and collaborative projects with creators and entrepreneurs who operate at levels you previously only observed from a distance. The people in your new circle aren't just successful in conventional terms. They're operating from a consciousness that recognizes success as more than material accumulation. They understand energy, they value authenticity, and they're committed to using their influence to create positive change in the world. Your elevation has connected you with your actual peer group, the people who were always meant to be your collaborators and companions. What's happening to you right now is just the external manifestation of a spiritual awakening that's been building pressure beneath the surface for months, possibly years, like a volcano preparing to reshape the landscape. Every meditation session, every moment of introspection, every decision to choose growth over comfort has been accumulating into this moment of breakthrough that's now becoming visible to everyone around you in ways they can feel but can't always articulate. Your intuition is sharpening to laser precision, allowing you to navigate situations with a wisdom that appears almost supernatural to outside observers who don't understand the spiritual work you've been doing. You're making decisions that seem risky to others but feel absolutely certain to you because you're operating from a level of inner knowing that transcends logical analysis and taps into universal intelligence. This spiritual evolution is creating a ripple effect that's touching every person who comes into contact with your energy field. People are leaving conversations with you feeling mysteriously uplifted, more connected to their own potential, more willing to pursue their dreams and take risks they've been avoiding. You're becoming a walking catalyst for transformation, triggering awakenings in others simply by embodying your authentic power and refusing to dim your light for anyone's comfort. But let's not sugarcoat it. The truth is still hidden. It's been twisted. It's been buried under censorship, algorithms and fear. Yet your heart never stopped recognizing what's real. That's why you're still here. That's why you never tapped out, because you felt the simulation glitch beneath your feet. You know this world is rigged, and you're done waiting for permission to rise. The Obsidian Inner Order wasn't built for the curious, it was forged for the committed. This is for the full-time chosen, the ones who came to lead, the ones who see beyond the veil and act anyway. Inside we hold weekly Zoom calls that cut through the noise. We share hidden teachings most were never meant to hear. We train in psychic warfare, strategy, and spiritual technologies they've kept locked away for centuries. This is the toolkit for the real ones, the ungovernable, the impossible to erase. It's time to remember who you are. The link is in the description. Your real life begins inside. The synchronicities in your life have reached a frequency that would seem impossible to anyone who doesn't understand how the universe responds to aligned action and elevated consciousness. The right people are appearing at exactly the right moments. Opportunities are presenting themselves with perfect timing, and resources are materializing just when you need them in ways that feel orchestrated by invisible hands. Your connection to divine guidance has strengthened to the point where you're receiving clear direction about your next steps, your life purpose, and the role you're meant to play in the larger story of human evolution and consciousness expansion. The universe is communicating with you through signs, symbols, and direct knowing that leaves no doubt about your chosen status and the importance of your mission. But the spiritual acceleration isn't just about personal elevation, it's preparing you for a level of service and influence that will touch thousands, possibly millions of lives. The universe doesn't invest this heavily in someone's transformation without expecting significant returns in terms of positive impact on the collective consciousness. The business opportunities that are about to flood your experience will challenge your current understanding of what's possible in your career and force you to expand your vision of your own potential. People are noticing not just your competence and skill set, but the indefinable energy you bring to every project, every meeting, every collaboration that somehow makes everything work better and achieve results that exceed everyone's expectations. The media attention that's beginning to find you isn't the superficial celebrity culture noise that consumes so many people. It's substantive recognition of your expertise, your perspective, and your ability to inspire others to reach their highest potential. Publications are starting to reach out for interviews, podcasts are extending invitations, and documentary filmmakers are beginning to take interest in your story and your message. That person from your past who's been watching your transformation with growing obsession and mounting regret is about to reach a breaking point that will force them to confront the magnitude of their mistake in ways they've been avoiding. They've been trying to convince themselves that they made the right choice, that the person they're with now is somehow better suited for them, but the evidence of your evolution is making that narrative impossible to maintain without serious self-deception. They've been crafting and deleting messages for weeks, driving past your neighborhood, hoping for a glimpse of you, asking mutual friends casual questions that aren't casual at all, and working up the courage for a grand gesture that they believe will somehow bridge the gap between who they were when they knew you and who you've become since they left. The desperation in their energy is reaching a crescendo that will manifest in an attempt to re-enter your life with a combination of apology, explanation, and proposition that will reveal just how much they've been affected by witnessing your ascension from a distance. Their approach will be a masterclass in regret, an admission that no amount of external success, new relationships, or geographic changes can fill the void left by losing someone who operates at your level of authenticity and power. Every high-caliber person who's been drawn into your orbit over the past months is about to become an active participant in your continued elevation, creating a network effect that will amplify your influence far beyond what you could achieve through individual effort alone. They're not just passive admirers collecting association points, they're becoming advocates, connectors, and collaborators who see your success as intertwined with their own growth and achievement. These connections are forming a web of influence that will accelerate your trajectory in ways that seem almost magical in their synchronicity and perfect timing. They're opening doors before you even know those doors exist, making introductions that feel divinely orchestrated, and creating opportunities that emerge from the intersection of multiple people's networks and resources. The collective power of this network is about to become apparent as projects, opportunities, and ventures begin materializing that leverage the combined influence and resources of everyone who's been drawn to your elevated frequency. You're not just building a contact list, you're becoming the central node in a network of conscious leaders who are committed to supporting each other's highest expression and most impactful work. The referrals that start flowing through this network will be premium opportunities that don't get advertised publicly, positions that are filled through recommendation rather than application, and collaborations that emerge from recognition of aligned vision rather than competitive bidding processes. The family gathering that's approaching will serve as a public declaration of your transformation, with relatives who've known you your entire life bearing witness to the magnitude of your evolution and officially acknowledging the shift in your status within the family hierarchy. The conversations won't just acknowledge your success, they'll celebrate the fulfillment of potential they always suspected existed but weren't sure you'd ever fully claim. Your transformation will inspire conversations that ripple through your extended family for months afterward, with cousins discussing your example in their own decision-making, siblings reflecting on their own potential for growth, and parents using your story as proof that their investment in your development was worthwhile and their faith in your potential was justified. The respect and admiration you'll receive from family members who previously saw you as just another relative will mark a permanent shift in family dynamics that acknowledges your emergence as someone whose success elevates the entire family's sense of possibility and pride. You're becoming the family success story, the example that proves what's possible when someone fully commits to their growth and refuses to accept limitations. As all these storylines converge like tributaries flowing into a mighty river, you're about to experience a moment of recognition that will crystallize everything you've become and everything you're destined to achieve. The jaws that have been dropping, the whispers that have been circulating, the opportunities that have been materializing, they're all building toward a crescendo of acknowledgement that will establish you as undeniably, irreplaceably magnificent. The ex who's been obsessing over your transformation will finally understand that they didn't just lose a romantic partner, they lost access to a frequency of existence that elevated everything in their life and made them better than they ever imagined they could be. The colleagues who've been watching your professional ascent will realize they're witnessing the emergence of a leader who will reshape industry standards and redefine what success looks like. The family members who've been celebrating your evolution will understand they're related to someone whose influence extends far beyond family circles and into realms that touch thousands of lives. But the most profound recognition will be your own. You'll look in the mirror and see not just someone who's experienced an impressive transformation, but someone who has claimed their divine inheritance and stepped fully into their role as a chosen one, whose very existence elevates everyone around them and contributes to the elevation of human consciousness itself. The universe invested heavily in your metamorphosis, and the returns on that investment are now becoming visible to everyone who has eyes to see and consciousness to recognize greatness when it's standing right in front of them. Your glow isn't just about how you look, it's about who you've become. And who you've become, chosen one, is absolutely, undeniably, irreplaceably magnificent. The jaws that dropped at the beginning of this journey were just the opening notes of a symphony of recognition that will follow you for the rest of your life, crescendoing into a legacy that inspires others to claim their own divine potential and step into their own magnificent transformation. Every person whose life you touch, every door that opens in response to your presence, every opportunity that materializes because of your elevated frequency is proof that you are operating at a level most people only dream of achieving. You're not just transforming yourself, you're demonstrating what's possible when someone fully embraces their divine nature and steps boldly into their destined greatness, creating a ripple effect that will continue expanding long after your initial transformation, touching lives you'll never know about and inspiring changes you'll never see, but that are absolutely connected to the courage you showed in claiming your power and refusing to settle for anything less than your highest potential. The momentum you've built is about to reach a tipping point that will catapult your influence into stratospheres you haven't even considered possible. The social media following that's been growing organically is attracting attention from major brands who recognize that your audience isn't just large, it's engaged at a level that indicates genuine trust and authentic connection. Marketing executives are studying your content, trying to understand how you've created such devoted engagement without the typical influencer tactics of manufactured controversy or superficial content. But what's really fascinating, the business world, is your ability to maintain authenticity while building massive influence. Companies are approaching you not just for endorsement deals, but for consulting opportunities where they can learn from your approach to authentic communication and genuine relationship building. They're recognizing that your methodology represents the future of marketing and influence, where consciousness and integrity drive engagement rather than manipulation and artificial scarcity. The book deals that are coming your way will position you as an authority on transformation, authenticity, and conscious living. Publishers are recognizing that your story isn't just personally inspiring, it's a blueprint for the kind of evolution that millions of people are desperately seeking in their own lives. Your narrative combines practical transformation with spiritual depth in ways that appeal to both mainstream audiences and those on conscious awakening journeys. What you're building right now extends far beyond personal success or individual achievement. You're laying the foundation for a legacy that will influence generations. The young people who are watching your journey are beginning to understand that transformation is possible at any stage of life, that authenticity is more powerful than perfection, and that divine favor responds to aligned action rather than desperate pleading. Your influence is creating a new template for what success looks like in an evolving world, showing others that they don't have to choose between spiritual development and material prosperity, between authentic expression and professional achievement, between personal happiness and positive impact. You're proving that consciousness and success are not just compatible, they're synergistic, each amplifying the other in ways that create sustainable abundance and genuine fulfillment. The philanthropic opportunities that are beginning to present themselves will allow you to channel your growing resources and influence toward causes that matter deeply to your soul. But these won't be typical charity situations where you write checks and attend galas. These will be hands-on involvement in movements that align with your values and leverage your unique gifts for maximum positive impact. The moment of complete recognition is approaching, when even the skeptics, the doubters, and the people who've been waiting for you to fail will have no choice but to acknowledge the magnitude of your transformation and the authenticity of your elevated state. This recognition won't come through dramatic confrontation or public vindication. It will emerge through the simple, undeniable evidence of sustained excellence, consistent character, and continued growth that proves your transformation wasn't a temporary phase or lucky streak. The universe has been preparing this moment of ultimate validation, where your chosen status becomes so apparent that even your former detractors become inadvertent advocates for your greatness. They'll find themselves defending you in conversations, sharing your content with their networks, and using your example to inspire their own attempts at transformation. My elevation has been so complete and so authentic that it converts opponents into allies simply through the power of witnessing genuine excellence in action. This is your time, chosen one. This is your season of recognition, influence, and impact. The jaws that have been dropping are just the beginning of a worldwide awakening to the power of authentic transformation and conscious living that you are helping to usher in through your example, your courage, and your unwavering commitment to becoming everything the universe designed you to be.